Hello and welcome to Wayne's World of Wrestling. I'm your host Wayne Gilmore. I've got a special guest with me tonight, all the way from Canada. He was introduced to me through a Twitter friend called Sam, and he's from the UK down in England. He's known as Let's Talk About Wrestling on Twitter, and it's through the magic of um, Anchor that I can talk to Harold, who goes by the name on Twitter, the Rev Cupid, sorry, and he's here to talk to me on my podcast tonight. Hi, Harold.
How you doing, brother?
All right, mate. How you doing?
Uh,
Actually, I've also got one. Sorry, I've got just one more thing to say about Sam, and let's talk about wrestling. He's starting his podcast up as well, and he's starting his up. Hopefully, it'll be on Friday evening on his YouTube channel. Let's talk about wrestling. So, hi Harold, how you doing?
Not too bad, brother. How you been?
I am good, mate. I'm good. Yourself?
Well, getting tired of this lockdown bull crap.
Aye, well, I'm still getting managing to get the kids out in the garden because we've got a big garden, so they get out in the
Yeah.
trampoline and stuff like that. So it's not too bad.
See, all my kids are growing up, so I mean, I don't have to worry about that. But just
Aye,
I have to find an excuse to go outdoors.
aye, aye. Aye, but can you see in Canada? Are they letting you still go out for exercise, or are you not even allowed to do that, or is it?
They want us to stay in as much as possible. The only time we should be going out is basically just to get like medical or groceries or the liquor
Or,
store. I don't understand why that's called an essential service, but okay.
what is the carry out shops over there still open? Yeah, like we
Oh
call them
yeah, yeah. The grocery stores are open here. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we call them carry out shops. See, for like you call them liquor stores. So are they still open?
Yeah. Oh yes, yes.
That's
They're
crazy,
called an
man.
essential service. I don't know why, mind you, but okay.
So as everybody can get drunk and forget about the craziness. Probably, I don't know.
So they can forget about the lockdown. Yeah. I think the
Yeah,
weed shop's open over here too.
aye. Oh well.
That's just I can walk
So
like a 2-minute walk, and I can be at a weed store to legally buy weed and come home and smoke it and not worry about getting caught.
oh
It's
well.
just stupid. It's crazy.
That's mad. So you're when we were on Sam's group chat over the weekend, it was set
Right.
up to talk about like kind of WrestleMania and other wrestling topics. And then you come in on the was it the Friday or the Saturday? I can't remember. And as soon as I started reading some of your stuff, that you'd seen some of these legend matches and legendary wrestlers, I was
Oh,
totally,
I've seen a lot
totally,
of Hall of Famers in my time.
yeah, I was totally interested as soon as I seen you putting them down, and I thought I wanted to speak to this guy one on one. And as soon as you seen me saying that, like me and my mate Jim do our
Yeah.
podcasts and that, and you said you were jealous, and I was like, "What are you jealous for?" And you said, "Oh, I wouldn't mind setting up a podcast or joining you." And yesterday I says, "Well, why not come on?" And I would like you to talk away about anything you wanted about your experiences meeting anybody or seeing these kind of matches. So
Yeah.
uh, the floor's yours, mate. Just talk away and I'll listen and join in. And anytime I've got anything to add to your stories.
Well, I could start off with a list of the people I've seen if that's
Yeah, that's
what you
cool,
want.
mate. That's cool.
No, I seen Hacksaw Jim Duggan,
Yep.
Million Dollar Man Ted DiBiase,
Cool.
Virgil, Bob
Yep.
Backlund, Jumpin' Jim Brunzell from the Killer Bees, Owen Hart, Bret Hart,
Cool.
Triple H, Stone Cold, China, Shawn Michaels, Mr. Fuji, The Orient Express, Jake the Snake, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, um, Queen Sherry, Sapphire, American Dream, Ric Flair, Roddy Piper. The list goes on. I can't remember them
Yeah.
all.
That's cool, man. That's like this legend, the list of legends, isn't it? Really, that's quality, man.
I actually did meet $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. He was a really nice guy. I got to see his Hall of Fame, his WWE Hall of Fame ring and everything there. It was really cool chatting to him.
So how did you meet him? Did you just like, was that some sort of convention
Actually,
thing, or was that actually like an event? Or
it was kind of funny because I used to play in this band in a church, right?
right,
And they got a call about because the hotel he was staying in was just down the street from where the church was, right?
right,
And the church I was involved with at the time, they got a call from Ted DiBiase's rep saying, would they like to have him preach there? So yeah, sure, you know. And everything was set up, and I went to the church, you know, the day he was preaching there, because he's a preacher now too, right?
right.
Yeah, and yeah, actually, he's got quite the story, man.
That's cool, man. So how long did you?
He was a really he gave his talk about his life and all this stuff there. That was really, really, really interesting. And I managed to get to meet him and get his autograph, see his Hall of Fame ring and all this stuff. He autographed part of my drum set. Not part of my drum set. That was Eric Singer from Kiss. I'm sorry. He gave me his autograph and everything. It was really nice. He's a really, really, really nice man.
That's cool, man. So what is that you? Do you want to say anything else about DiBiase, or you got to say something else here?
No. I was just thinking about some matches I had seen.
Yeah.
Like one of the best ones I'd have to say would be Roddy Piper and Ric Flair for the WWE heavyweight titles. That was just wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Piper, true to his style, you know how he does the poke in the eyes and everything.
Aye.
He got disqualified anyway, and he still held up the belt, walking around the ring and all that stuff, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah, it was hilarious.
Piper.
Like it was hilarious. He's a nice person too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I seen Stone Cold stun Triple H and China in a match here in my hometown. Here's a cool story. As I remember Randy Savage being our heavyweight champion here on the independent scene here, way before he made it to the WWE. And I got to see it. I had the pleasure of seeing him a few times. I've seen his brother, Leaping Lanny Poffo, who is called the genius in the WWE.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen them wrestle a few times. I've seen Haystack Calhoun. I've seen, like I said, a lot of wrestlers.
So
I can't remember.
did these when you seen them, did they all come to your town, or did you go and see them elsewhere sometimes? Or
No, all in my hometown.
Yeah. So how do you? I know it says on your Twitter, New Brunswick. How do you pronounce the town?
Moncton.
Right. I wasn't sure.
Yeah. Moncton, New Brunswick, Canada. Canada. Oh, what an idiot. Canada, rather.
Yeah, Canada. I was like, what? That's cool.
I'm sorry, I was reverting to my native Canadian ways there. Canada.
Cool.
Yeah, it was funny. One night, I was in a bar having a few drinks and, put a few dollars in the gambling machines, right?
Yep.
I wasn't having much luck, and then all of a sudden, Mr. Perfect, there was a jam session. Mr. Perfect decides to get off his seat and start singing on stage, right?
Right.
I started winning.
Aye.
I started winning money, and then when he stopped singing, I got out the machine. I said, no, I ain't going to stretch this any further. No. So anyway, I got my winnings and all that stuff. And I'm walking out to go to a bar across the street, who do I walk smack into? Mr. Perfect.
Aye.
Yeah, I wasn't watching where I was going. I walked, all of a sudden I had to look up to see his face. Like, the TV doesn't do him justice, man. Like, he's a lot taller than what people give him credit for, man.
Yeah.
And he said, "Excuse me," and I'm going, "Oh God, here I go. This is it. I'm going to get punched out by Mr. Perfect." You know, where do you go, piss? I said, "You see that Mickey Mouse over there on that door? Yeah, that's where you got to go." And I'm telling you, when you start going that way, I went to the other bar.
Aye. That's
And
quality.
so I'm walking around in the other bar. Who do I bump into? Coco Beware.
Aye.
Oh yeah. So anyway, I bought him a beer too. It was really cool. I was able to buy him a beer and stuff like that. And we chatted a few minutes and stuff. But what was really funny is that him and the Orient Express were running around this other bar, pouring beer over each other's head.
Aye.
Those guys are crazy. They know how to have a good time. They try to have a good time. But what you got to realize is that these guys are spending like 300 days away from their families too, right?
Yep. Aye, I know that's the way the
And
world is the wrestling into it.
And so it's not, I mean, it's fun, but it's, also a lifestyle that you have to learn how to live, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the way they alleviate that is, like I said, running around pouring beer over each other's head and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, excuse me. It was great. Seeing the Steiner brothers.
Yep.
Seen them too. Actually, I was so desperate to go to a WWE card one night. I already had my ticket, and this was my son must have been about a year and a half.
Yep.
And I had to talk my wife into taking him to work with her, putting him in a high chair while she was working in the kitchen. And so after the card was done, I'm walking in there. I actually talked to the dog-faced gremlin. I told him, I was there at the card, and I said, "You guys put on a good show." And he said, "Thanks," And then I'm walking into the bathroom to use the bathroom before I pick up my son to go home, right? Because we live just up the street from where my wife was working.
Okay.
And I go in the bathroom, and his brother is on the phone. So it was wow. Big Papa Pump was standing there on the phone. Yokozuna, I've seen Yokozuna. That man is so big. I'm telling you, he took 2 chairs to sit down at a table at Crackers.
Aye, he's a big man, wasn't he?
Oh, he's a big, and can that man eat?
Right.
Wow. I seen that he ate $120 worth of food just by himself.
Whoa.
Yeah, and that was at where my wife worked. Actually, that's where I met my wife. I was a cook and she was a dishwasher, and somebody set us up, and we've been together ever since.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's been 30 years. It'll be 30 years this November. We've been together, been married. I mean, we've been together 31 years, but we've been married for 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
And some other stories here. I've seen the Undertaker gimmick thing going on, and I remember sitting ringside with my buddy.
Yep.
And they were going on and back and forth and back and forth, and I'm going, we're calling the other Undertaker by his real name, like Brian Ellis was the other fake Undertaker, and
right.
He told us to F off. So yeah, we got on his nerves. And the whole arena just cracked right up. It was just too funny. They're like, "Yeah, we got your attention, all right." There was another time I was sitting front row ringside for something else. I seen Typhoon and Earthquake there. Big John Tenta is his real name, Big John Tenta. And stuff like that. We were going for the bad guys, right? Me and my mate, we would always go for the bad guys. Yep. And so So we're going for the bad guys, and people are starting to get angry with us because we're going for the bad guys, right? Especially people with kids. Like,
Yeah.
mine, my kids. Well, we paid our ticket too, right?
Aye, cheer who you want to cheer.
Yeah. So anyway, we were watching this match one time, and we were it was starting to snow, and we were due for a storm that night. So anyway, the match was going on and on. I forgot who the bad guy. We were going for him anyway, and the match was starting to get boring. So everybody in the arena started calling out boring. So my mate calls out. He said, "Listen, do you guys think you can hurry this up there? We're expecting a blizzard here, And the guy told us to go to, told us where to go.
Right.
Yeah. And then we took his mother with us one time. So us being us, we stand up and sing the national anthem when they're playing it, right? And we sang it off key on purpose. And people just crack it up. I mean, it was great. That night, I seen Shawn Michaels take Owen Hart head and bang it on the ring, bring it on the turnbuckle there, the cloth part of it there, the cloth that covers up the steel there.
Yep.
So anyway, I seen him bang Owen Hart's head on that 40 times.
Whoa, that's a lot.
40 times. We sat there. The audience sat there. We counted 40. We couldn't believe it. Mr. Fuji was there too. And this brings a bit of a weird story. Another friend of mine was there, and he's right into this. Well, I'm right into it too, but like he was more into it than a little. He's a little overboard. So anyway, he was arguing with Mr. Fuji. Mr. Fuji invites him, invites him to come in. You don't climb the barrier to get in while there's a wrestling match going on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He climbed over the thing. He climbed over the barrier. He went there. He even actually got to the ring. Well, Owen Hart punched him in the mouth. And then Shawn Michaels said, "What the fuck you doing?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels took him out of the ring, took him into the back where they where they came out for their entrance, right?
Right.
And had to make sure Shawn Michaels took the time to take him back there and make sure he was okay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's when Owen Hart got the 40 head. It was too funny.
Yep.
It was great. Brutus the Barber Beefcake, I'm telling you, puts on a show.
Yeah. So when see then a lot of the wrestling matches you've seen with you and your mates, was this like between the 80s and the 90s roughly, maybe?
Yeah. When we got our first card, before we got our first card, Jake the Snake was in town here, and he announced that WWE was coming to my hometown, so everybody was excited there.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. He announced that WWE was coming and stuff like that. It was cool. Like, they took the time to send somebody here.
Yeah. I do like Jake, man. Jake the Snake's good. I'm actually quite happy that I'm quite happy that guy's wicked. I'm happy that he's in AEW at the minute. Obviously doing the promos and that again.
After being put into the WWE Hall of Fame, I kind of got conflicted emotions. I mean, I realize the man has to make a buck, right?
Mm-hmm.
But see, I see him in AEW, and same with Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson and Jim Ross, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, I suppose if they're not doing anything and they need money, they need to do something. I suppose, don't they?
Yeah, they got to make they got to make money too, right?
Yeah. I mean, if WWE aren't using them, they need to do something, I suppose. But yeah,
I mean, but Jake the Snake in his prime, man. I mean, if anybody had what they call it was Jake the Snake. He had it.
Yeah.
To no end, man. Like he lived it. You know what I mean? He really lived it.
Yeah.
And stuff. I remember seeing Scott Hall as Razor Ramon.
Mm-hmm.
going up. Wow. I remember seeing the American Dream going up against the $1 Million Man, and that's when I seen Sapphire and Queen Sherry.
Yeah, so
You know what I
when was
mean?
this? Was this like, would that have been the 80s or was it the early 90s or something like that?
It was I'd have to say this was the late 80s, early 90s when I
Yeah,
seen that.
that's cool, man.
It was 92 when I think 92 when I seen Roddy Piper and Ric Flair wrestle.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was one of my favorite matches, man. There's a lot of he actually gave credence to the term he uses, to be the man, you got to beat the man. And like, he had an answer for everything Roddy Piper did. I mean,
Aye.
I'm just glad I had a chance to see him at least once before, you know.
Yeah, well, my major thing that me and my mates have been to was WrestleMania when he get retired. I was there for
Oh, were
WrestleMania.
you?
Aye, we were at WrestleMania 24.
Oh man, I cried so hard, man.
It was an emotional. It was definitely emotional being in the stadium, and then we were at Monday Night
Like,
Raw
well,
the
how
next
many
night.
people were there? Was that the big one there where they had about 100,000?
No, for Ric Flair it was 74,000 and odd. The Orlando Citrus Bowl. So
Right.
that was, and then the next night we were at Raw. We had better seats for Raw. We were actually on Sky Sports over here and all that. And we're like, oh, we're on TV when we get home and all that. So that was quite cool. The Undertaker Edge as well.
I cried when he wrestled his last match there against Shawn Michaels. I cried.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, me and my brother-in-law were just crying, man.
Yeah.
You know, because well, you know what? It was him, Harley Race, and American Dream, Arn Anderson, Ric Flair. It was those 4 or 5 people are the ones who put wrestling where it is today. They paved the way for that.
Yeah.
They really paved the way for that. I mean, they look at Ric Flair. He was what, over 50 when he retired, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and he still kind of was. He went to TNA or something for a while, didn't he, as well? But he didn't go to TNA.
Well, he was in WCW. Then he came here to WWE.
Yeah.
Then he went to back to WCW. Then he came back to WWE. It's just,
yeah.
The guy knows how to put on a show. I'll tell you, man.
Aye, I mean, it was good that like his retirement match had to be Mr. WrestleMania with Shawn. It was like, obviously Shawn Michaels puts on so many matches.
If you see, I watched it on TV. I don't know if you've seen it on the jumbotron that they have there. You know, that you can see if you're not close enough. You know what I mean? When I seen that on TV, I seen Shawn Michaels say, "I'm sorry, I love you," and then give him a super kick and pin him.
Yeah. Aye, because I've seen that. I did see it there, and then obviously I've seen the match. I've watched WrestleMania 24. I don't know, about a dozen times because I was there as well. But it was emotional at the time. And it was
really, what I really thought was cool was they gave Ric Flair his moment, right?
Yeah.
And I thought, you know what, that's class. They gave Ric Flair. Shawn Michaels skedaddled out of there as soon as he could.
Aye.
And they gave Ric Flair his moment.
Yeah.
You know, and what was really cool is when he went to his family and hugged and kissed each and every one of them before he went off.
Yeah.
It's like, you know.
Like even in the next night on Raw when we were there as well for the brought out all the wrestlers, like the 4 Horsemen were there for him, well, the other 3 Horsemen, and then Greg Valentine came out, Harley Race was there as well, and people like that came out. And well, I mean, I actually jumped off my chair.
I seen Greg Valentine's brother Rick wrestle.
Yeah. Cool. But as soon as Ricky Steamboat came out, I jumped off my chair. I was like, oh my God, Ricky Steamboat's right in this arena. I couldn't believe it, man.
Ricky Steamboat, I'm telling you, he's another one that deserves credit for helping pave the way for wrestling to what it is today. Him, Rick Martel,
Aye, the model. Aye, I
Was
liked
another
him.
one I seen.
Yeah.
Uh, oh, gee, I'm telling you. Huh.
So
The memories that are starting to flood back here, you know.
aye, that's cool, man. So when did you go from going out with your mates to then becoming a dad to take your kids to the wrestling? Was that a totally
When
different
I be,
experience then?
when I first became a dad, I didn't go to two. I went to the odd one, you know, if it
Yeah.
was a really really good card, but I
Yep.
didn't go that much.
Right.
So my son turned 5. I'm going back about close to 25 years now. I think 23, 24, close
Yep.
to 25 years. I'm going back. I think it was the Undertaker versus Kane.
Right.
And it was the same night. Stone Cold was here. The Undertaker was here. Triple H was here. China was here,
Mm-hmm.
and all this stuff. And anyway, the main event was the Undertaker.
Right.
No, it was Stone Cold, but the one before that was the Undertaker and Kane.
Right.
So anyway, you know, Kane comes out. The Undertaker's music hits, right?
Right.
And it's full. My son started crying.
Right.
He cried as soon as the music was done. He was fine.
Aye.
He liked the Undertaker. He liked the Undertaker. He liked the Undertaker beating up Kane and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't help but laugh. You know how Stone Cold does his thing after his match with the middle finger, right?
Right.
Yeah, my son was doing that at 5.
Aye. Aye.
5 years old, he's trying to be like Stone Cold in the ring, right?
Aye.
He loves Stone Cold stunning, doing a Stone Cold stunner on Triple H in China. He loved that part.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
that's cool, man.
You know, and then another few years went by, and you know, I couldn't. Then I got sick after I got sick because I was drinking a lot and stuff like that. I don't drink anymore, but I stopped drinking, and 2 years after I started drinking, I was getting sick. I got sick.
Right.
And there's one particular time this card came to Moncton.
Right.
John Cena, Randy Orton, Evan. Remember Evan Bourne?
Yeah. He was actually meant to come to the town I'm from on one of the independent Scottish Wrestling Alliance, it's called. And he was meant to come to that, but some sort of thing happened with his plane or something. He never came.
Hello. Sorry about that. As with all technology, it does have its drawbacks.
Aye. What happened? I don't know what happened, man. Because it's.
Yeah,
I don't
I'm
know.
talking away. All of a sudden, we're disconnected. I think I might have. I'm using a phone here, a cell phone. So, yeah.
Yeah. Evan Bourne, I was saying about, he was meant to be coming to Motherwell, where I live.
I had heard rumors of that.
And obviously he was on the independent scene and stuff. And he was meant to be doing some independent shows, but apparently something happened with his plane or his travel or something, and he never ended up coming over here. So
I think it was something happened in his family or something at that point.
I'm not sure what the deal was. I'm not too sure.
It's why he didn't make it over there. I think somebody in his family died, his mother or father or sister or brother or something.
Don't know, man. But, I saw what you saying about Evan Bourne.
I seen him live and it was funny.
Yeah.
He did and everything. All of a sudden, you seen Hornswoggle coming out from underneath the ring.
Right.
Telling you, I got to give that man credit. He is deceptively strong. He carried Evan Bourne on his shoulders around the ring, did 3 laps around the ring with Evan Bourne on his shoulders.
Aye.
That little man is one strong son of a gun. I'll tell you that.
Aye.
Like
Oh, that's
I
quite
I
man.
was amazed. I was like, everybody was going, wow. No wonder that guy can wrestle. I mean, jeez, he is deceptively strong. And I'll tell you who. Anyway, getting back to what I was saying, John Cena and Randy Orton and all them on the same card.
Right,
It was me, my daughter, my baby girl,
right,
and my son.
right.
I'm going to this WWE event.
When
Yeah.
was that? So what year are you now? Is this the late 90s,
I'm
early
going
2000s?
about.
I would have been 2000s, wouldn't it? Because John
I would
Cena wasn't he?
going back about 10 years. Going back about
Yeah,
10 years.
right.
Yeah. John Cena and Randy Orton going right at it. But what I didn't like about the match is Randy Orton controlled the whole thing, of the whole
Right.
match here in town anyway.
Mhm.
John Cena just did the one move and he wins. This is like, okay, I don't see the reasoning behind that, but okay.
Mhm. Yeah, well, that was like
A huge, huge John Cena fan. Like
yeah,
anything lived, eat, and lived, breathed, ate, and slept John Cena. We had to buy her. I had to buy her a lot. We had to buy her a lot of John Cena stuff.
aye. Yeah, I've never been a fan of the guy. I just think he's just obviously we came into it was the thugonomics
He
guy, and
is.
he was always there. But
Him and Cesaro are both deceptively strong. I can tell you that.
yeah, he is strong. I mean, he's picked up the Big Show. He picked up Triple H and Randy Orton at the WrestleMania. I was at within the triple threat match as well, and so
Yeah.
he's a strong guy. But I mean, don't get me wrong, he's a good worker. He's carried WWE for years.
Well, yeah.
He sells the merchandise and stuff like that, but I'm just not into him.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad JBL's going into the Hall of Fame. I've been calling that one for years. How they should be bringing him in. They should have brought him into the Hall of Fame years ago.
yeah, what do you know what actually happened to the Hall of Fame then this year? Because
They canceled it.
Yeah. So when's
I mean,
that?
the
When's
Bellas
that
are
going
going
to?
in.
Yeah.
David Boy Smith's going in.
Mhm. So when's it happening? Is it going to be after
I don't
this?
know. I think they might do that maybe SummerSlam if
Yeah.
things are okay by then. I can't see it any time before that.
Right.
Might even have to wait until maybe next WrestleMania.
Yeah. Maybe do like would you? The Hall of Fame's on long enough. But if
Survivor
it's
Series
double,
wouldn't be a bad place for them to do it either.
yeah, maybe.
So I'm
So
looking
how
SummerSlam or
many?
Survivor Series for that.
How many? So you went to some shows with your son and daughter then, when it was kind of like the Cena and Orton and stuff like that. So that was later in the 2000s then, kind of.
Yeah, that was about 2010.
Yeah, right.
Everybody's saying something about Queen Sherry. I said, no, Queen Sherry, come. You're telling her to get out. I said, yeah, get out of here and come to my house.
Aye.
Oh, I had such a crush on Queen Sherry.
Aye.
Oh my God.
Aye, sensational Sherry. Aye.
And
she was a good heel, man. She was good at what she done.
Oh, she was great.
Aye.
She was one of the best female heels I've seen. Her, Mae Young was another great one.
Mm. I actually quite liked. You remember her, Luna Vachon?
Yes,
I quite liked her, man. She had the mad crazy voice in that.
Her uncle and her dad used to wrestle down here on the independent scene.
Yeah, what was her dad's name again? I can't remember his name.
Mad Dog and Butcher Vachon.
Aye. He was a nutter as well, man. It's crazy. It's just these crazy like characters. They're really good.
Well, French Canadians. I mean, yeah, you don't mess with them. But Luna Vachon was another one I thought was a very sexy woman.
Aye.
I mean, that one there, if she beat me up, I would probably say, thank you, man, can I have another kind of thing? You know what I mean?
Quality.
No, that was another one I fell in love with. Miss Elizabeth. I seen Randy Savage. Speaking of Scott Hall, his opponent was Randy Savage.
Right.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And that night, that was the time the Ultimate Warrior was supposed to be here. But do you remember that brief period where he did a lot of no-shows?
Right.
That happened here in my hometown.
Yeah.
So what they had to do is they called Randy Savage in. And this was after his retirement match.
WrestleMania 7. WrestleMania 7, aye.
And after that, he was supposed to wrestle the Ultimate Warrior here.
Right. And it didn't happen.
No, Ultimate Warrior was supposed to wrestle Scott Hall here.
Right.
They had to call Randy Savage and bring him in to take the Ultimate Warrior's place because he was at that point where he's doing the no-show thing there. He was asking for more money and shit and all that stuff. Excuse my language. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's cool, man. That's no bother, man.
So it ended up being Randy Savage and Scott Hall.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that a good match?
Actually, it was. I mean, of course, Randy Savage lost, but because, you know, he was quote unquote retired and he had to get the line that the announcer gave us as the public. I mean, I knew a lot better because, you know what I mean?
Right.
I grew up in wrestling, so I didn't grow up in wrestling, but I remember watching it when I was 5 and 6 years old, going to a lot of events, you know, Freddie Sweetpan, Sweet Daddy Siki, and those kind of people, right? Eric Pomeroy, the Stomper, the Beast, you know.
I'm not sure of them at all, man. I can't think of that they beat the people.
Oh no, they were on the independent scene here.
Right.
Bulldog Bob Brown was another one I got to see quite a bit too.
Right.
Yeah, I seen him a few times.
Cool.
I lost my train of thought.
It's cool, mate. I do that a lot. I do that all the time, man. You're talking about the independent scene, and then it was about Macho Man. You knew it was going on.
The Ultimate Warrior and stuff. Yeah.
You knew what was going on. Something about why Randy Savage lost.
Yeah, because I had grown up. See, I've been watching. I wasn't an idiot, you know, like everybody knew, because it was reported. It was we heard the rumors anyway. We got the announcement that that morning on radio that the Ultimate Warrior wasn't going to be here.
Yeah.
Understand? So here my buddy and I on the way into the event, we're yelling out, "Ultimate Warrior's a no-show. Randy Savage took his place." Nobody would believe it, right?
Mm-hmm.
They changed their tune after.
When
Randy Savage did show up, and and the way they announced it to us was by special permission from the WWE and all this stuff. I think Gorilla Monsoon was still alive then.
Right.
No, I don't think he was. He might have been, actually.
No, can't
anyway,
remember.
It was by the president, quote unquote president of the WWE. It wasn't Vince McMahon or anything, but by special commissioner or something like that. That's how they announced it to us. Randy Savage is taking the place of the Ultimate Warrior.
I loved. I think they were my favourite commentary team was Monsoon and Bobby Heenan. Still love them, man.
Oh, you can't beat those guys.
You still love them, man.
They had such a great chemistry.
Like just as if they were really arguing, you know what I mean? And it was like the heel versus the Gorilla Monsoon was the good guy.
And you could see they were trying so hard not to laugh. You know what I mean?
I know, but they were so good, man. It's so funny.
Yeah, I'll tell you who another one who's good at keeping a straight face is the Undertaker.
Aye.
Man, but there's a couple of times you could see him almost smiling there, wanting to smile, but he couldn't, and he had to kind of like rub his hand over his mouth so he couldn't laugh, right?
Aye.
And stuff like that. But he was good at it too, keeping a straight face.
Yep.
But I never got to see Edge. I never got to see Christian or any of those ones. And I And I feel really bad for that because Edge and Christian both trained down here with a guy who used to run the independent scene down here, right?
Right.
They trained under this guy called Emile Dupre, whose son went on to become a tag team champion as part of the La Resistance.
Right.
Back in the day. Rene Dupre was a tag team champion. I forgot who the other guy was. He was another Canadian too. French fella there. He was a referee in a match there, and then he ended up with La Resistance.
Right.
I've seen him wrestle on the mat. He's still under contract at the WWE, so when he wrestled here on an independent scene, he had to wear a mask because he wasn't allowed to wrestle as Rene Dupre.
Right.
So it's amazing people I knew. I've seen his father wrestle a few times. It was great. Haystack Calhoun wrestled here, and that was kind of cool, man. Big celebrity like Haystack Calhoun.
Yeah.
If anybody like that came to town, you were there.
I seen him when I watched. They said the WWE Network. My mate Jim's got it, and I kind of just use his account. And it's mainly old matches I'm watching or Legends of Wrestling documentaries. You know what I mean? I just don't really watch.
Yeah.
I've just fell away. I've just fell away from today's product. To be honest, I just don't really like it.
Today it's too much glitz and glamour. It's not like it was back in
Yeah.
I think the attitude the late 80s.
Yeah.
And all of the 90s was probably the best period for wrestling ever.
Yeah, the Attitude Era was. I did enjoy the Attitude Era as well, and then but it kind of a lot of people like Bret Hart and stuff were getting annoyed with it because obviously they were the lassies were getting more scantily clad and stuff like that was happening, and they didn't like that either. I know that Bruno Sammartino was kind of. That's why he wasn't in the Hall of Fame for years, kind of thing. He didn't like the.
Yeah, that's why he kept. Yeah, exactly. That's why he kept denying himself going into the Hall of Fame. It wasn't theirs. It wasn't theirs. It was him.
And I think the drugs as well. I know that's why Triple H came out and said something about the wellness program had come out to try and rid the company of the drug taking and stuff like that as well. I know that he was against that, but.
Well, yeah. Well, I remember that big scandal there with Vince McMahon and Hulk Hogan there over the steroids. Remember that?
Aye, definitely. But then I remember reading in the papers years ago when I was just getting into WWE or WWF at the time, because it was in the late 80s, early 90s kind of roundabout I started getting into it. And Vince McMahon was meant to be giving them the steroids at the time. He was happy to give
he was
the drugs
actually giving them. Yeah, he was. He got out. He was found guilty, but they didn't do much to him. I mean, he's
because it's and it's also because it's like obviously it's sports entertainment. That's why he came out and said it was sports entertainment. I remember him saying that, so it wasn't. You couldn't really get done because it's no a genuine sport. It's no got a.
Well, that's what caused. Not to bring a dark note on the wrestling thing, but that's what caused Chris Benoit to do what he did. What he did was. He was taking steroids, but see, when you're taking steroids, you can't drink alcohol.
Yeah.
He was mixing wine with steroids, and he went into a roid rage and ended up murdering his son and his wife.
Yeah.
But
there's still. So when that news report come on, they were still saying that it might not have been roid rage. It might have been the CT as well. There's another thing about the amount of chair shots he took or something, concussions and. Could have been a bit of a mixture of something. It could have been there could have been a bit of roid rage, a bit of CTE, and that's obviously why wrestlers put their horns up in the sky now and take a chair shot with their horns up in their head. Because I was watching JBL versus Eddie Guerrero the other night, because obviously me and Jim were going to do
Eddie Guerrero was bloody, that one.
Mate, I watched it and see the chair shot he took. It was unreal. I was like, it was like a shotgun going off, and it was his skull. It was just a false skull shot, and I was like, oh my God. And then you had even like Mankind versus The Rock. The Rock hit Mankind when he had his own
Mankind
cuff.
was bloody there too.
Oh my God, it was like he took about 15, I think it was 15 chair shots to the head. And you're just like, what's good? That's just horrific, man. Nowadays, you wouldn't see that because obviously.
Well, yeah, that's why they reserve that for once a year at TLC.
Yeah. So, but I don't know. I'm enjoying the hardcore matches now, and then me and Jim are going to be talking about that on my podcast this weekend. I know that I was going to obviously say to you. I know that you're going to be starting your podcast up as well, aren't you?
I don't know. In a few days, I think I might wait till like early next week because where everybody's got their kind of thing going on the weekends and stuff. When things aren't so hectic, quote unquote. Yep. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that. Like I said, I've been doing this for about 3 months now, and it's only really it's mere because I just like babbling away about wrestling.
Well, you got when I do my first one, man, you got to come on.
Yeah, man, I'd be an honor. I mean, I'd be happy to come on and talk
it'd
away.
Be great. It'd be rocking. You can talk about some of your experiences.
That's cool.
Did you ever hear of a guy called No Class Bobby Bass?
No Class Bobby Bass. I don't know. Who did he work? Where did he come from?
His brother was in the WWE. What was his brother's name there? I forgot. Nick Bass or something like that.
I'm not sure. Maybe remember him if I remember. When was he about in WWF or WWE?
His brother was.
Right.
He started up. I ended up working for him as a company in a wrestling company called All Canadian Pro Wrestling.
Right.
I know how to set up the ring. I know how to tear down the ring. Cool. I know how to be the valet. I know how to be the timekeeper. I know how to play their entrance music, and all. I learned a lot in a short time.
That's cool, man.
It was great. I never got paid a penny, but it was great. I gained a lot of insight and a lot of understanding from the wrestling world, right?
Yeah.
So, but I have seen careers get ended here too in the independent scene. Speaking of that, one guy called Todd the Bod Douglas. Everybody calls it fake. There has to be a certain amount of choreography, or else it's not going to work.
Yep.
I've seen a guy's career get ended here. He ended up hitting the wrong part of the ring and ended up with a concussion.
Yep.
And he's never wrestled again. I mean, that's just like what Bill Goldberg did to Bret Hart in the WCW there. Bret Hart's last match was because of Bill Goldberg giving him a super kick to the head.
Yeah. Yeah, Bret Hart didn't he?
I thought that was rather mean of Bill Goldberg, but Goldberg's Goldberg, right?
Yeah, Bret Hart obviously says he wasn't happy with him on the Broken Skull session with Stone Cold. He says he was the worst worker to work with, and he obviously came across quite bitter with it.
I had watched that live too, right?
Yeah.
I was a big fan of both WCW and WWE.
Yep.
But I seen that live on TV, and everybody in the house was going, he's not going to be wrestling again.
Yeah. Well, I watched. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's a Scottish guy does it's like in front of a live audience, and it's called Inside the Ropes, and it's
I've heard of it.
It's in Glasgow. He usually does it in Glasgow, and he gets it's like a 300 or 400 people in. Sometimes in a venue called the Garage or somewhere else in Glasgow. And Bill Goldberg was on that, and I seen a snippet of it, and it was about him explaining about the Hitman kick, and he says, "Look, it's one of my biggest regrets in wrestling for doing it.
Right.
But in my defence, Bret Hart knows the kick's coming, and he kind of doesn't help his sell. Tries to say he doesn't help his sell with it, but he obviously made the mistake of kicking him as well, and he didn't stay it safely." But he said if he meant to kick Bret Hart's head off, Bret Hart wouldn't be here, or Bret Hart would have been in a worse state. Said something like that, and I was like, that's quite harsh to say, man. When you ended his career as it was, you've already ended the guy's career with a mistake. But you're saying if I did actually mean it, he wouldn't be here, or he'd be even worse trouble, kind of thing. I was like, but
exactly.
So, but again, there's
Bill Goldberg refused to lose against the Fiend.
Yeah, I've read. I was just seeing this.
He's getting paid $1 million a match.
Aye, I know.
That's crazy.
I know. I heard this. Was that just online today? Was it no? I think, or yesterday, something like that.
Yeah, I think it was online yesterday. He got kicked out of the WWE. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vince McMahon said no more. And Vince McMahon's not bringing him back. Vince McMahon's not bringing him back anytime soon.
Right.
And I guess apparently when The Undertaker rode off on the motorcycle, that was his last match.
Yeah, I think I'm thinking it could be because I watched that on the network, The Last Ride. It was the first look of it, and I just feel
I seen that too. It was great.
Did you watch it? I think it's going to be good, man.
Yeah.
And it looks like what Michelle McCool's saying, like nobody knows that his body's in more pain than people realise and stuff. So I think he could be calling it a day, and I think he should. To be honest, he's done enough.
Yeah, he's done enough for the WWE. He's done enough for sports entertainment itself.
Yeah.
Period.
Like I said,
he couldn't go down as the greatest of all time. Him and Ric Flair as the greatest of all time. That's it.
I will miss him, but because he is my favourite ever. Just his persona, his character, his storytelling. He's in ring kind of matches. Not all of his matches are brilliant, but there's some classics in there. But I just think if it is him finished, I'm going to be sad. But I don't want him going out with matches like Goldberg and stuff.
Either.
Yeah, I mean.
You don't want that to happen. I mean, people look at Owen Hart. He gave his life for the WWE.
Yeah, and that was a disgrace. I thought that was a disgrace. The show still had to go on and that. They should have just stopped that there and then and just give everybody a refund. You know what I mean? Just say to the fans,
well, in their eyes, the show must go on, right? There's nothing they could do.
I just thought, just out of respect, the guys did, and it was just like, maybe just caught a night.
Well, his wife is keeping him from going into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like for years, Bret Hart and some other people have been calling for him to go in the Hall of Fame, and she won't let him go in.
So I'll just have you any one last story, and then we'll shut down the podcast for the night, or one more personal story for you, with your mates for wrestling, or out with your kids, or.
I think the best one I did was the best time I had was with my baby girl and my son.
Right.
That was probably the best one. That was John Cena and Randy Orton, Evan Bourne. Triple H was supposed to be here, but he didn't show up.
Right.
He did show up in another city later on that day because they wrestled here in the afternoon, and in the evening they wrestled in a city that's about an hour and a half drive from here.
Right, that's weird, isn't it?
Hello?
Hi, hello.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was probably the best time I had.
Yeah,
like my daughter, my son, and me, and a buddy, a couple of friends of ours, and next door neighbor, and a bunch of us went. It was great.
That's cool, man. I'm hoping my two. I've got a girl and a boy. I'm hoping they two maybe get into wrestling and I'll maybe go to some shows. Like I said, right now I'm actually more into the Scottish Wrestling Alliance and Insane Championship Wrestling, which is a bit more.
Does NXT UK do any cards over there?
They've been doing some tours, but it is on the network, but I've not watched any. But a couple of the SWA wrestlers have actually went to that now. So I'll keep an eye on it. But if my kids, I've let my kids watch some stuff on YouTube and some stuff on the network, and
Right.
I just think sometimes when they watch it, they kind of start wrestling and getting a bit rowdy themselves. So I think they're getting sometimes they get a bit too violent with each other. So, but
Right.
we'll see how it goes. Hopefully one day maybe I'll go to a third WrestleMania and go with them.
Dude,
we'll
that
see
would
what
be
happens. Just to see.
I'd like to do that with mine too, even though like I'm almost 60 and my son's almost 30, but I'd still like to do that, to go at least see one WrestleMania in my time.
Yeah, it's an experience and a half, man. Obviously, I've been to two now. I was at 24 and 29, and
nice.
it's just being there. You know what I mean? Just looking
being there,
around and everybody's there.
you're living the experience. You know, me, I'm only watching it on TV, right?
Yeah, there's Monday Night Raw. The Monday Night Raw the next night's even mental. Like the atmosphere in Monday Night Raw is more mental. It's just like it's a smaller crowd and everybody's going crazy and they're just singing different songs.
Well, yeah, well, that's when some people make their debuts, is the night after WrestleMania. A lot of debuts happen.
Yeah, it's brilliant, man. But I'll say cheerio to you now and thank you very much for coming on the podcast and telling your stories about your wrestling experiences. And it's been an honour for you to come on, especially all the way over from Canada. But obviously, the magic of Anchor has recorded both of us as if we're in the same room, which is cool.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate you getting me on here, brother. It's been a blast.
Right, thanks, Harold, for coming on, and I definitely will. As soon as you get your podcast up and running, I'd be delighted to come on and join you.
Dude, that would be an honor.
No bother, mate. Thanks again for coming on.
Okay, stay cool, keep rocking, brother.
Right, thanks again, mate. Thanks again.
Okay.
Right,
bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.